show you a supine, which just means lying on your back, hip internal rotation exercise. It's very simple in its execution, or it's very simple in its setup, and it would seem simple in its execution, but its execution is actually very detailed and very specific. Typically what happens when we move into external or internal rotation, is that our pelvis is going to move and make up for a lack of actual internal rotation. So we're gonna get lying on our back like so, have that nice natural curve. So I shouldn't be able to fit my hand all the way through, but I also don't want it press my low back pressing the ground like I just did, where I can't fit my hand in there at all. I should have a slight arch in my lower back, be able to kind of slide my hands halfway through or so in that natural normal position. And then we will set up from here. We're gonna work on one side at a time. We place our hands on our waistband so that we can feel our pelvis. Those bony protrusions in the front should not change. They should be relatively balanced, meaning that they should be in alignment here. And as you internally rotate, which will look like this, we don't want that hip to hike up, okay? We aren't trying to get this leg to hike. All we're trying to do is get it to rotate, okay? So for internal rotation, imagine you've got an X on this thigh and you're trying to rotate that X toward your other leg. You're trying to rotate it inward. We want to minimize movement from the foot. We want to minimize movement below the knee, and everything come from this thigh bone here, this femur. That's going to create pure internal rotation of the hip, which is what we're looking for. So we're going to brace our core. We're going to pull the knee up to 90 or maybe just a little bit above. If that's too difficult, you can regress by moving down, but you want to slowly move into that 90-degree position for this exercise. From there, brace my core, squeeze it hard, and all I'm trying to do is rotate this thigh inward and rotate this lower leg outward, okay? Like I said, keep your hand on your waistband so that you can feel if you start to lose that pelvic position. Drive this other leg straight, lock it out, and press it down into the ground. That's gonna help you stabilize position. You're gonna feel the quad and the glute on that side, and you're gonna feel this outer glute and maybe even a little bit of inner thigh on this side. Hold for a minimum of 10 seconds, working up to 20, and ramping up tension as you go. So initially, you may get here, and you may hold, 10 seconds, and at the end you're at 30, 40, maybe even 50%. But as you go through this, you should be able to ramp up tension so that you are at 100% tension, full body, everything squeezing, difficult to breathe, difficult to talk, and everything, especially in that hip capsule and through your core, is firing like crazy to get actual change happening, to tell the nervous system that we can move that hip, that that hip is supposed to move, and creating that movement. The idea is to do at least 5 reps every single day, focusing on 10 to 20 second contractions. You can do these anywhere, and what it's going to do is solidify that internal range of motion, especially in a flexed hip position, which looks like the bottom of a squat, correct? So it's functional, it's something we do often, and use this position to maintain the current range of motion, but also increase it. So if I turn to the side, you would notice, okay, that maybe first rep I'm here, just outside my knee. Second rep, ramping up tension even more, going even further outside my knee. Third rep, even more, even more, even more, until you've maxed that out, okay? That's the idea, is each and every rep, ramping up tension, increasing that range of motion just a little bit on each and every rep. It's a great and simple exercise that you can basically do anywhere, anytime, to improve your internal hip rotation, which is absolutely necessary for hip and low back health, as well as health of everything in the lower body.